Sumanji, Dipanshu.
Ma'am, I will make the call those who are not joined.
That's what I'm announcing the names. That's it. Dipanshu. Okay. Shreyanshi. Shreyanshi. These are the 4 students who are going to present their views or debate in the session on a positive side. Am I right? Yes or no? Ishwar Sai, have you given your choice of opinion for positive side or against to it?
Ma'am, give my, positive side.
What?
Positive side, ma'am.
Positive side, yeah. So the team of your members are Ishwar Sai, Sumanji, Deepanshu, Shreyanshi. These are all the 4 people who are on positive side. Okay. For you, the counter people are Aditya Mehta. Are you available? Aditya Mehta. Ritvik.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Nikhil. Nikhil. Satvik. Satvik. No. Achha, okay. Let me go with other team of people. Right. These are set A. Set B. Who are on positive side are Nirnimesh. Okay. Nirnimesh, are you available? Nirnimesh. Okay then. Suraj Purohit.
Yes,
Suraj
ma'am.
Purohit. Yeah. Okay. Alan Sanjeev. Alan Sanjeev. Shiva Tejash. Shiva Tejash.
Hello.
Tejash. I'm not getting, someone is speaking, but I'm not getting their voice. Shiva Tejash.
Is it audible?
Shankar sir. Yeah, you are audible, sir. Bit audible.
Yes, madam.
But your voice is lagging,
Okay,
sir.
okay,
Might
fine.
be.
Actually, yeah, I just too funny. He's not available at his seat.
Oh.
And even I texted him. Let me wait for some more time.
Okay, sir. No problem. By that time, I will do some sort of arrangements with respect to teams. And sir, I have started recording, sir. Okay, sir.
Yeah, fine. 1 minute. Actually, tomorrow after this, a small announcement from my side. Actually, tomorrow we have sent 2 details, madam. Related to tomorrow, just now I sent a message to you. Like tomorrow, the program was that because the Madhumurthy sir is not available.
Okay.
So he is available only to 6. So he is to the for some is Madhumurthy from NIT Varangal, the side ready from NIT Surkal, and 2 from our faculty, one is Dr. Pradhi Krishna from Electrical Department, and other is Dr. Kimudin, Computer Science Engineering.
Yes, sir.
I think I request you to kindly do some promotion by giving the poster.
Sure, sir. We already we have started working on the poster, sir. Yesterday only I've guided, but I'll share the names and the time period for once, the time slots and schedules.
Yes, yes, yes.
Your voice is lagging a lot. Yeah.
Okay, okay. I connected to mobile because.
Yeah, yes, sir. But sir, in our block we are getting Wi-Fi, sir. At least I mean, sorry, yeah, Wi-Fi we are getting. Admin block. Okay, sir. Anyhow, we will continue with our session. Yeah. Second set of people are for positive side, Nirnimesh, Suraj Purohit, Alan Sanjeev, Shiva Tejash. Shiva Tejash, are you available here? Shiva Tejash.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes,
okay.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you.
Nirnimesh is available.
Nirnimesh is also available. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, for second set, people who are taking on negative version or who are going to speak about Negative it is
Ma'am,
Harshita.
ma'am,
Yeah.
in second
Who
set
is
positive
this?
set Akshaya is also.
Akshaya.
Yes, ma'am.
Acha, this particular person has given her name when I don't know. This was not
That's
updated
it.
to me. Okay.
That's
Okay then.
it.
Akshaya.
I was a bit late, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Akshaya, you are under which group, ma?
Positive set
Second
second.
positive side.
Very good. Yeah, done. Thank you for correcting me. Yeah. Next, second team or set B, negative, who are taking on negative side? Harshita, Guru Saranya. Harshita, are you available? Harshita, Guru Saranya,
Yes, ma'am. I'm there.
you are there. Yeah. Gayatri. Gayatri,
Yes, ma'am.
yeah, you are there. Okay. Yeah. If at all you face any technical issues, na, you just send a message in our group.
Okay, ma'am.
Don't get in a hurry or don't get aggravated or something like that. You just message to us so that we can give chance to others. And again, you can, once your network is good connectivity, you can stay back your state your views. Okay. Yeah. Lakshmi Prasanna.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. And
Yes,
one
ma'am.
more name should be there. No, Sadia.
Ajit. He said he's
Aj-
having issues.
Ajit Kumar. You are
Yes,
saying
yes,
about
ma'am.
Ajit Kumar.
Yes, ma'am.
Ajit, you are
I'm here.
available. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So you are in set B towards negative views,
Yes, ma'am.
right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So dear partners, this thing we have Sadia something there. Sadia start with the
Your voice is
Hello, ma'am.
lagging.
Hello, ma'am. Actually, your voice is lagging, ma'am.
I also have a lot of network issues. Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Now it is clear, but it is
Yeah.
lagging sometimes.
Yeah. A very good evening to one and all. Our whole event goes on with the hosting by Sadia Samrin. Here, in fact, I'm facing a lot of technical problems, and another faculty evaluator, Dr. K. Funny Krishna sir, will join us in a meanwhile. Okay, let us formally start our event. I hope Sadia,
Yes, ma'am.
you are ready with your part, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Meanwhile, sir will join, or else I'll message to sir once again. I don't know where sir is and whether he is also facing technical problems. But give me a minute. Meanwhile,
Funny? No, is it funny means? Funny, you please unmute and then.
be positive side and negative.
What are you speaking? I couldn't hear you.
Okay, see. Meanwhile, I'll make a call to sir and ensure where is sir available and by what time he'll be joining. Okay. Another evaluator I'm
Yes, ma'am.
speaking about.
Yes, ma'am.
Meanwhile, you read out the names of the people and they belong to which set and the number of people in each
Madam,
team,
is
both
my
taking on
voice
positive
audible?
side and negative side.
Please update. Is my voice audible?
Yes, sir.
Hello,
Okay,
madam.
okay.
Am I audible?
Sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. We were about to make a call to you, sir. You are
It's okay.
audible, sir.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Please
Sadia,
continue,
please.
ma'am.
Yes, sir. Sadia Samrin,
Yes, ma'am.
you can start. You can invite our evaluator. Sir is available. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
You know details, right? I have shared you the details.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, please.
Good evening, one and all present here. As we all know, the Entrepreneurship and Innovation Cell of NIT Andhra Pradesh is organizing the IIC activity series of events on the occasion of World Entrepreneurs Day 2021. As a part of this event, we are going to have a debate program.
మన పని ఎవాల్యుయేటర్స్ అనమాట. అందుబాటులో లేదు మన పని ఇప్పటి వరకు, ఇప్పుడు వచ్చారు. ఓకే, లేకపోతే మేము పెట్టద్దాం. ఏం సార్ ఇది డిబేట్ ఎంటర్‌ప్రెన్యూర్‌షిప్ మీద. మాదే. ఓకే, ఫైన్ సార్ చెప్పారు నాకు. ఈ టోల్డ్ మీ మీరు.
నేను ఉన్నాను సార్ ఇక్కడ. ఐఎమ్ హియర్. హలో.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, Sadia.
Yes.
Yes,
Now
ma'am.
you are not getting any background voice, right?
No, ma'am.
I think we can carry on.
Yes, ma'am.
Give me a minute. Funny sir, you are available, right, sir? Funny sir. Hello, Funny sir.
I'm available. See, I'm connected to the phone, so there is some disconnectivity. I'm
Yes, sir.
available.
Even I'm connected with my mobile only, sir. I was also getting
There
lagging
is some
calls.
latency, but I'm
Yeah.
connected, ma'am.
Sir, yeah, we'll go ahead, sir, because Shankar sir might be in other work. Sir told us to carry on. Is that fine, sir?
Sure, ma'am. No issues.
Yeah. Sadia, please go ahead. And sorry for the interruption, Sadia.
Yes, ma'am. It's okay. Good evening, one and all present here. As we all know, Entrepreneurship and Cell of NIT Andhra Pradesh is organizing the IIC activity series of events on the occasion of World Entrepreneurs Day. As a part of that event, today we are going to have a debate program. I extend a very warm welcome to eminent faculties, teaching staff, and my dear students. Debate instills a great sense of poise and confidence in debaters. Audience will get to know about the topic in depth and in detail, which helps in sharpening their thought and also in improvising their critical analysis or thinking out of the box skill. So without any delay, let's start our much awaited and inquisitive program. I welcome the debaters of today's program, Ishwar Sai, Suman, Deepanshu, Shreyanshi, Aditya Mehta, Ritvik, Nikhil, Satvik, and Harshita from Team A, and Nirnimesh, Suraj Purohit, Alan Sanjeev, Shiva Tejesh, Akshaya, Guru Saranya, Gayatri, Lakshmi Prasanna, and Ajit from Team B. So before starting the debate, let me announce the rules of debate. Tools of debate: organizing your thoughts with clarity and clear support, reasoning or justification of your thoughts, cross-examination and rebuttal. Your views will be evaluated based on the content, style, and strategy. Teams are affirmative team and views against views team. Don't deviate from the topic. Don't interrupt others. Don't shout and argue because it's a debate. No personal or emotional arguments. For all the participants, I hope you all will be having proper conduct during the debate. Let's begin the debate.
Sadia, please ensure whether these 5 people from positive side and 5 people from negative side are available or not. So then we can do some sort of modifications if those people are not available.
Yes, ma'am. Ishwar, are you available?
Yes, I'm available.
Suman?
Yeah, I am.
Deepanshu?
Yeah, I am also.
Shreyanshi?
Yeah.
Okay. Aditya?
Yeah.
Ritvik?
Yes.
Nikhil?
Yes.
Satvik,
Yeah, I mean,
Harshita.
Yeah, I am available.
Team A is available, ma'am. Nitimesh,
Yeah, I mean,
Suraj,
Yes, I am also.
Alan,
I'm available.
yeah.
Available.
Shivatejesh,
Yeah, I'm here.
Akshaya,
Yes.
Guru Saranya,
Yeah, I'm here.
Gayatri, Gayatri,
Yeah, I am available.
Lakshmi Prasanna,
Available.
Ajit.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes, ma'am. Both teams are ready.
Give me 1 minute, Sadia.
Yes, ma'am.
So, dear all participants, I hope you are all aware of the do's and don'ts in the debate process. Okay. So, if at all you are having a problem in your internet connectivity, since we have formed a group, you can message us, because both the sides at a single point of time when we are speaking, it's very problematic for us to understand your communication, and in fact mine also, because I was also using mobile data. So what I request you is, like, if you find any difficulty, kindly message in the group. This is one thing. And there are two people who are coordinating for us. Raju Yadav is the one who is coordinating, and Utkarsh is the one. So if you have any problem, at least make a call or message to them, whatever is convenient to your end. And let us limit, because two sets of people are there. So your time limit is 30 minutes. Don't drag the issue for much time, because we are already from morning till evening 5, we were already doing so much of work. Okay. Don't take or consume the precious time of our evaluators. Okay. I'll introduce our today's evaluator, Dr. K. Fani Krishna sir, Assistant Professor from Department of Electrical and Electronics Engineering. Sir is evaluator for today's debate. In fact, I am also an evaluator, but already you are you have experience with my state of speaking and all those things. So please follow the rules and also maintain the conduct. Thank you all. Saria, please invite the participants, and the topic for today is debate on entrepreneurs. Okay.
So I invite team A of the participants: Ishwar, Suman, Deepanshu, Shreyanshi, Aditya, Ritvik, Nikhil, Satvik, and Harshita. All the best, guys. You can start the debate now.
Okay. Hello, everyone. So I'll be going on first, and I'll just let me just give a small clarification on what entrepreneurship is as a main starting point, because many people do mistake entrepreneurship for innovation. It isn't innovation. Entrepreneurship is management of a business. Now, I've chosen to go against entrepreneurship, and there is a very specific reason. Although in these recent years, you have seen entrepreneurship as a rise in society as an option for a career perspective and for the growth of personal well-being as well, entrepreneurship is a very risky task, because if you look at the amount of companies that exist outside versus the amount of people that are present, entrepreneurship just simply doesn't make sense on the practical scale. If you're taking 100 people from any university as an example and trying to, and just imagine if every single one of them started their own company as an entrepreneur, or as a combination of 5 people, even that will lead to a formation of 20 companies. Now, the reason why entrepreneurship is not an idealistic solution for the society is because there are usually two types of people. One is the consumer, and the second is the provider. When every single person that you have is trying to go towards the provider scale of it and creating new companies, companies do require employees to work as well, right? So, where are those employees going to come from? Now, entrepreneurship as an option does seem like a viable choice. But at the same time, I would also like to point out and say that Entrepreneurship should not be the lean mead of living, because leadership is a very lonely task to do. You are alone and you'll be facing entire wraith of the society on you, because as disappointing as it is to say, as a person who tries to establish a company myself, society doesn't forgive you. There is no place in society for any sort of forgiveness. So the only option that you are left out with is try to be practical. Entrepreneurship is a good task to do, which I'm saying it isn't. What I mean to say is that you need to be practical about your life. Sometimes creation of a company may not be the best choice for you. Thank you, and I would pass on to my other colleagues as well.
Namaste, this is Sumanji. As Ritvik told, that entrepreneurship is something not not to do at the large scale. If 100 people out of a college going to be an entrepreneur, then who will work for them? It's not like that. Entrepreneurs have their own different thought process, and not every person can be an entrepreneur in itself. They have a different thinking style. And that is there is simple line between business and entrepreneurship. So you have to be very cautious about that. Entrepreneurship is a process of earning money. You can generate income from it, but entrepreneurship is also about solving any societal problem. As you also said, society will go behind you if you fail. But who cares for the society? After all, or if you do something, someone will told you, someone will comment on, gonna comment on it. So be in your in your own limit, and do something that prevails, that do something good for the society. Uh, uh, as you go for the many startups, they find the solutions for many different reasons. And as of this COVID situation right now, we are going through different educational startups are there. You can access them, so that it gives an ease to the education system. uh, 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 you can go with the different startup as well. Ola, Uber, Zomato, Swiggy. There are a lot more in different sectors. These are some common ones which we know easily. So my point is that entrepreneurship, not gain an entrepreneur as and if you fails in being an entrepreneur, it will not a failure. It will always uh, it, uh, it will always give you something in learning. Uh, if you gonna ask any of the person, any of the business person, if you gonna ask him, is being an entrepreneur, is any entrepreneur lose something? They will say no. You always gonna learn something from it. If your business idea or the idea which you gone through it fails, then you can also get something from it, and you can start the new idea from it. I will rest my point. I will give my team members to comment.
Hello, I'm Harshita. I would like to take over. On that note, Suman, you said that living in a society, who cares who cares what society think? But if you are living in a society and that society is your customer, if you don't forget, so whatever decision you take, it directly depends on the society, because that society only contribute your employees and your customer both. So you have to think very consciously on whether it will affect and how they are going to affect your society. Second thing you said about Ola, Uber, Zomato, Swiggy. Yes, you named the most famous sites or apps that we know. But do you know about those which have same idea like Ola, Uber, but they failed? And there is not one or two. There are a lot of them that failed, and we don't even know about them. So you cannot get success being an entrepreneur every time. and that is a very high risk to be taken. Also, if you fail, the last thing that you said, if you fail as an entrepreneur, then it is not a fail of your life. But it is not the case for everyone. Not everyone is as energetic and motivated, but everyone wants to be to do something good in their life. And if they choose as an to be an entrepreneur, then I think they shouldn't if they listen to you, because if they fail, then they will be depressed, and they won't even have the courage to do any kind of job as well. So that's my point.
Well said, Harshita. And Suman sir, Mr. Suman, I do agree on your point. You are very optimistic, right? I do like that you're very optimistic and positive. But you do need to remember that this is life. Life is not always the way, the rosy flowers that you have seen till 12th grade. I mean, I am currently in engineering second year, and I'm currently like just looking at the society around me is really problematic and painful as well. As painful as it sounds, for any entrepreneur to succeed, you need capital, right? Investors, yeah, you might be thinking about an option of an investor, but remember this, behind every person right now, take India itself, behind every person, there are a family of 3 or 4 depending on that person to feed them, right? If you're taking about entrepreneurship itself as a whole idea, you've mentioned 4 companies. Take our college. We have, I think, we have around 1,000 people, maybe 1,500 people in our college.
2,000 people.
2,000 people, right? Every year there will be around 400 graduates, right? There may be around 400 graduates. If you're taking the best case scenario of around 5 people working together as well, how many companies are going to form? Now, and you just imagine, this is just for one college, 80 companies taking the best case scenario of 5 people conjoining and forming a company. That is usually not the case, right? So here, if you're looking for just one college, if you're getting 80 companies, just think about the number of engineering colleges in India. How many companies would have actually started and failed? You mentioned the successful ones, like Harshita also pointed out. Your idea is very optimistic, sir. I do appreciate that optimism which you have. But at the same time, I cannot close my eyes, trust that future will be good and just do something for my life. I need to do something which is practical for me, because I know within 3 years of time, I have to start earning for my settlement as well, right? I need to buy a house. Like every single person has a dream, right? You know, the small Indian dream, sir. I may not be, I may not have much of an idea like you. I have a very small dream. I come from a very middle class family. So my idea is pretty simple. A small house, a car and a bike and a family. That's all. For me, what is logical? For me, if I create a company right now, if I'm launching a company right now, just think about the hassle that I have to go through. Leave. Let's imagine like money falls out of nowhere. Imagining that money falls out of nowhere. Imagining that people are working out of nowhere. People are coming to work in my company. Imagining that everything runs smoothly. I still need to tackle that one problem, that is society, sir. You're living, see, humanity has evolved from an animal based level to a society, right? Which is why we are different when comparison to every other animal that is present, right? What I, you need to act according to society, sir. You may think, you know what, screw society, we are going to go separate, but you need to remember you are a part of society. You, me, every single individual present in this meet, the people who founded this meet, right? The people who created Cisco WebEx, the people who created Cisco Web, everyone, we're part of society itself. How can you just leave something that you're a part of? It's just not that simple, sir. I do understand your optimistic point, but you do need to understand the practical implementations. And I really do hope that you take this into consideration as well.
When I say who cares for the society, and when I say entrepreneurship is for the society, there are 2 different society we're talking about. The society who taunts on us for you gonna be fail, tum fail ho jaoge, tum ye ho jaoge, tumhare sath ye ho jayega. And this other thing, when you come to the entrepreneurship and what you are doing as an entrepreneur, you are giving something to the society. So both aspects are different. Both have different limitations. Limitation of something. Now I'm coming to the point of that 80 companies from a college. Though it's not something going to happen, it will never going to happen. But as the automation thing, as the automation is coming around, and from a report says almost 70 to 80% of the current job will get escaped around 50 from the 50 years from now. It's a report, I don't remember from which from where it came, but I read somewhere that from 50 years from now, almost 70 to 80% of the jobs which is currently going on will be vanished. So as the AI technology will come and different more technology with the innovation will come into effect. So entrepreneurship has not a limited scope of having 85% gonna meet at the single place and build a company. It's a different sector. So you can build a website for yourself. If you're good in coding or something, then you can build your website and do an automation. I used a website called quillboard.com. Though it used to rephrase the sentence when I get something, not getting an appropriate idea of a sentence, changing the phrase, then I used to take help from it. So with this, you can also grow your more different sectors. You can divide entrepreneurship into different sectors. It's not only about having Zomato, Ola, Uber, or something like that. As like Harshita told, many of startup failed, and and as reports also told that almost 70-80% of the startups failed every time. Take example of Zomato itself, as it is a known startup. So I will take the name multiple times. Zomato was startup for some different purpose, but it came into action. Their plan changed suddenly as they think that how market gonna change at the point of time. So it's the clicking. It's your mind. When your mind clicks for something, you just gonna boom, or just like something.
I'm extremely sorry to interrupt, Suman.
Yes, ma'am.
Dear students, please grab your opportunity. I'm not saying to shout. You can ask them to stop for a while and you can speak about your comment or your opinion. Don't wait till you get a chance. Okay. Yeah. Please, Ritvik and Sumanji, give chance to others too.
Okay, so I am Devanshu Sharma, and I would like to reply Mr. Ritvik. So you said that the investment and the capital is required in entrepreneurship. Have you heard the name of Praful, that MBA chai wala guy? He started his business from a cart by selling tea, and now he's a millionaire at the age of 27. And you dream of buying a car or buying a home. It becomes a very small thing for him right now. So, do you?
Sir, Mr.
Yes,
Dipanshu, I'm really sorry to interrupt,
yes.
but do you know how many chai walas are there in India?
No,
You know,
I am
2
talking
chai
about
walas.
idea.
See,
How his idea was unique, and that makes a entrepreneurship.
exactly, sir. This
Yeah.
is what I'm saying.
And
Your idea, you may
let me
have a
finish.
good idea.
Let me
Okay,
finish.
sorry. Yeah, please
And
continue.
you talk about the risk factor. Okay. So where isn't the risk? You can also fail in this engineering program. You can also fail in BTech. Where is how many chances there that you will get placed in a job, from this college?
On that, I would
Failures
say that
everywhere, na?
hello. I would like to interrupt in between. It depends. It is not about risk. It is about the amount of risk, the percentage of risk. Everywhere there is risk, I agree that. But the percentage of risk and like how many people are there who fail in BTech versus how many people are there who fail in entrepreneur. So that is the thing, that is the biggest risk. So if people are like if you put your point, then I don't think that is a convincing point to choose entrepreneur as a career, because there is a lot of risk.
See, there is a point of view. Okay, you have different point of view. I think entrepreneurship may be a very safest uh, br- place to be, because in a job, in a cooperative job, you can be kicked out at any time, point of time, just because of a small mistake. Your boss can kick you out anytime, and
In
so your future depends on some
cooperative,
third party, not on you.
Dipanshu,
And
Mr. Dipanshu,
yeah,
I'm sorry to interrupt right now,
yeah.
but the statistical information that you're talking about when you're coming about corporates and all, right? There is a human resource department which was mandatorily introduced by the government of India and almost every single government,
Mm.
democratic governments across the world, for a reason, for people not to kick out employees
Okay,
for
okay.
this itself. When you're talking about entrepreneurship, right, there is no law governing that if an entrepreneur is failing, provide him with extra money. Show me,
See,
like, there is
wait,
no
wait, wait, wait.
government in the
You
world.
said that
And
there's
also, when you're talking about just 1 minute, Dipanshu, I'll just finish mine, then you can counteract with my sentence. See, I'm not saying entrepreneurship is something evil. What I'm saying is, don't trust it completely for your life's sake. Like you said, there are chances of you failing in this college as well, right? What were the chances of you getting a seat in this college as well? If you take that as well, it depends on how much hard work you do as a person. See, people like you, people like Suman sir, and who we have met are quite optimistic about life, which I do appreciate. There are very few people who are optimistic like you. But for me, I think about practical implementation, sir. When I'm trying to invent a new company, the amount of hassle that I have to go through. Because see, I don't have money from my side to invest. I'll be honest. I don't have even a single rupee to invest. If I ask my dad, he'll tell me to get out. That might be a quite sad of an occasion to say, but that is what is going to happen in anybody's house. You go ask your dad 10,000, give me 10,000 rupees, he's definitely not going to accept. So the investors out there also are looking for new ideas. Now, implementation of idea is task number one, sir. Implementation, that is what I said. Innovation and entrepreneurship, you need to differentiate. My very first sentence. You may need to innovate something, but the innovation should be something useful. Right. If you say right now there's a lot of plastic. If you invent something for reduction of plastic as an alternative to plastic, it is something that is called as an innovation. Right. So the number of points that you need to take for getting a successful entrepreneurship, because let me be honest, nobody cares about failures. Okay. This is the horrid truth which very few people understand. If you ask any of our elders, they'll tell you this. If you ask Premlata ma'am itself, she'll tell you this. Nobody cares about failures. You are living in a society, you fail, the world is going to stamp over you and go ahead. That is how society operates. You are a part of society. For you to be recognized, for you to be able to feed yourself, leave your family members. Let us say you're alone. You're alone. For you to feed yourself, you need money. If your business is failing, and you're in debts, how would you be able to come up? You mentioned the idea of some other person, which I really I'm really apologize for have forgotten, the chaiwala who became a millionaire. Now, with the same scenario, I might also mention Modi and say, like, there is also another chaiwala who became prime minister with his ideologies and all. In that way, if you're taking, there are chaiwalas almost every single corner of the street right now. Right. There are kirana shops for every single gully road. There is a one kirana shop with at least one or two people inside that. What I mean to say is, if you're looking at practicality, entrepreneurship, sir, is maybe for the 0.01% or even less than that. 1 in 100 or 1 in 1,000. I'm not saying exact numbers. I'm just ball figuring out. That are the chances of your entrepreneurship your business being successful. As a practical option, I would choose to go and get a job.
Okay.
Right now,
Okay. I think your time is up. You have said enough. So I think you are a practical man, right? So, do you know how many people get lost their job in this pandemic thing? Do you know the idea of how many people
Do you know how many
lost their
businesses
job?
went out of
No,
business?
just answer my question now first.
Can you
Sir, I
compare
don't.
that
Now
now
I can
with
compare
the
now.
So
businesses that
Actually,
pandemic is something
those
that
both are
doesn't matter.
relatable. Wait. And the second thing is, I think you are practical when you said this, but I think you are afraid of being a leader, of taking responsibility. Okay,
Sir, I'm
you
afraid of being homeless.
and
I'm sorry to interrupt between. I would like to know views of Shreyanshi.
Yeah, thank you. I would like to say, as Ritvik said, that there are failures and risk. But if you see, risk and failures are everywhere. Even if you ask a successful entrepreneur, even he won't say that it's a cup of tea. Okay. So, but entrepreneurship doesn't mean that you have an idea and you can directly jump into it. You being an entrepreneur means you need to excel in different fields like marketing strategy, fund management, etc. And you all know that India ranks third in providing in providing third largest ecosystem in India, in worldwide. So government is trying its level best to promote entrepreneurship, and if we thought about capital and investment, then government has taken up many initiatives like Startup India initiative and Startup Seed Fund. So we need to, there is risk and failures, but the one most important thing is that there is a lack of knowledge. If you have knowledge, if you haven't any knowledge about the particular field in which you are gonna enter in, then you can't be successful. That's a fact.
I have an argument, Shreyanshi. You said about Startup India and other funding like crowdfunding and all, which government is providing. So it is not just that part that government gives you money and you invest and that's it. You have to pay government back. So if your startup succeeds, then it's okay. But if you are in loss, or if you are just neutral, you are not even gaining anything, again in both the cases your startup will fail and you will be in a debt. So you have to pay back the money to government. So in that case, I don't think that is a good idea to take money, and like those poor people, like those people who cannot invest much and who don't have good economical background, they cannot start a startup, right? And second thing about knowledge. So if we think about, if we know, we think in respect of knowledge, then every PhD student, because we assume that PhD is the highest highest degree in India right now. So they are very knowledgeable. So every PhD student should be an entrepreneur, and no BTech student should be an entrepreneur. Like not no, but a few of them should be an entrepreneur, because gaining that amount of knowledge is not an easy task.
I think the first step of entrepreneurship is that you need to find that the market needs that the market needs your solution of that particular problem or not. If it isn't, then that idea won't be successful. So it should be first think about it. Then only it could be successful. Then you should go towards taking loan and all.
I would like to reply to Harshita as she said that a PhD holder is more knowledgeable than any BTech student. So can you tell me that how a doctor, which is in a biology field, can do something in this business thing? The knowledge is different, na? You have to know the knowledge about the
That is a
business thing.
generalized statement, Deepanshu. There is also doctorate in physics and there is also doctorate in computer science as well.
Wait. Let Harshita reply.
Okay. So she said that if I have knowledge in a particular field, for example, if I want to do something in agricultural field, then for that I must have a huge amount of knowledge about that. I do PhD in agriculture to become an entrepreneur. Is that fair? Like what she said, I have to have a huge, very good knowledge. And again, for that also, I need a good financial background to study till PhD. Not everyone can do that, right?
See, you don't
I
need to
think
read books.
PhD give a stipend thing, and it is very less. It is very cheap than what you are doing right now, BTech. PhD is
People,
very cheap.
I'm really
Still,
sorry
I
to interrupt. People, there are many other people who are not at all expressing their opinions. It would be great if we hear from every single one of you, because it matters. Your voice matters here. Please speak up. Anyone.
Thank you, Ritvik, for giving me some opportunity to speak in between. Yeah, actually, Deepanshu has raised a idea of saying being a leader is more important in entrepreneurship. I really don't think entrepreneurship needs good leadership qualities. I mean, yeah, it needs leadership qualities to an extent, but it doesn't need. It doesn't seems like it's an responsibility you take. It's just about you getting profit and you managing your own company and your own needs. That's what the whole ideology goes around. So what I think is taking responsibility is different, and being an entrepreneur is a different thing. It's two different tasks. Entrepreneurship is just uh, thinking about your own company and your own profit. That's it. That's what I suppose. And you may have you can say about anything.
Thank you, Satvik.
Can I continue?
There is just one small, like whatever you expressed is actually true, right? Leadership may not be the number one thing that you might think of, but if you want any business to stand, you do need leadership. Like whatever you mentioned right now, right? You need to increase profits, you need to increase your business growth. Those are nothing but qualities of a leader itself. So it's
Yeah,
basically.
I don't think it is those are qualities of leader. Those are qualities of a manager who manages things, his profit, his business growth, and so on.
Okay, we might have a completely different perspective.
Sorry to interrupt. Aditya, you can speak out now.
Thanks, Sadia. I was waiting for my chance from so long. So many people here are so optimistic. I can't believe that. I just remembered like all that glitters is not gold. The same goes with entrepreneurship. All are talking about its bright side, but no one talked about the dark secrets of it. Some talked, but I want to add some more points to it. I love this fake world of startups, the world where people dream to change the world, but at the end they are left with only three questions: how to lay off staff, how to sell the remaining assets, and how to postmortem what was wrong in it. I just want to recall what one of the broken entrepreneurs said. Winding the business down was one of the most traumatic experience of my then young life. And this is the reality. What happens with most of the entrepreneurs. In India, every other guy wants to open a startup just because the greed of some unwanted motivators. You don't have to look away to find someone to preach you or teach you entrepreneurship. There are many leaders, politicians, and educators to endorse you. But I think there should be a few more disclaimers stacked on it to encourage entrepreneurs can enter this world with their big eyes open. I think people like to talk about how incredible it feels to pursue your passion, change the world, and build something from nothing. But it comes at a cost, and only a few talk about this. Also, I want to raise a point that when you fail as a worker, your peers and often your manager are there to pick you up, help you learn and grow. But for an entrepreneur, this is the root cause of depression. I am no psychologist, but in this condition, a high level shot of dopamine is required. Also, too many people equate entrepreneurship with wealth. If you are an entrepreneur, you are a billionaire. Although the two are completely and totally unrelated. Very few startups exist which provide founders with enough wealth to give them financial freedom. Also, if they are lucky, otherwise they would go bankrupt and they would be in debt for years. a surprising fact is that you will most likely earn more money working in MNCs rather than opening your own company. You will still be disappointed. Also, a major question arises here. What is the guarantee of your customers? They will be distributed as soon as the competitor enters the market. If you thought you would find love from your customers for the solutions you have built for them, you will be disappointed. You only need one big problem to start losing sleep. Get used to that sinking feeling in your stomach, because you will have one big problem or another problem on your head each day. You now have your own problems, your employees' problems, and all the customers' problems you have. Being an entrepreneur is simply not all it's scrapped to be. And too many people are misleading this generation. At last, I would say, if you choose to be an entrepreneur, remember, think before you choose. And fortunate, oh, very, very fortunate, you are able to achieve some success. Plan for a long, lonely ride with all of the people whom you think one day will stand for you or support you, and the next day will target you. Also, at the life for you, life will be just infinitely more complex, and problems will be arising. And if you are one of those crazy ones, have a brutal conversation with your family and slap yourself and get set to work.
Okay, so I get it.
I
What you
want
want to say? Okay.
I want to add some more point to this all what Paul said. First of all, we have to distinguish what an entrepreneur or what an entrepreneurship is. It's not a business where you are creating wealth. Though entrepreneurship help you in creating wealth, what the motive or the what the idea behind entrepreneurship is not creating the wealth first. It's always about solving the problem. And if you're able to solve the problem, you get the success. If you're not able to solve the problem, you will learn something from it, and you can process. You can get into some newer field, and you can have some new passion to. You can access a new passion in sudden change in a sudden time. So it's not all about wealth generation. Though many people come and say I will be an entrepreneur just for the sake of being a billionaire or millionaire whatsoever, but it's not like that. There is a point of there is a line which distinguishes being an entrepreneur or being a businessman. And what a business.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Nikhil, are you here?
Yes,
Would you
I'm
like
here.
something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to contradict with Suman, I would like to raise a point. Suppose you're pursuing entrepreneurship and going for a business opportunity. That business opportunity, that skill or that entrepreneurship you're doing is directly related to your personal reputation. For suppose by some chance, by mouth talk or by slipping of the words, you may lose the quality and people may lose faith in your entrepreneurship or that startup.
Can I continue?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Nikhil. So, Suman, as you said that there is risk,
Is Ishwar
and
Sai
if
available
we
over here?
fail,
Yes, ma'am.
1 minute. Harshita, please wait a minute. Nikhil?
yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, have you spoken your version?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Ishwar Sai,
Yes,
are you
ma'am.
available?
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
please. Why don't you share your points or your views?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, I would like to agree with the point raised by Ritvik that we require we definitely require financial assistance, like before we get into the entrepreneurship, because we require some financial assistance for it. I would like to add that if we really have good point to to achieve it, we can spend some 5-6 years on by working in a MNC or somewhere, and like we can earn some money, and like if we try to spend it on our idea to, like if we have a really goodwill on it, we can try to spend the money on it to achieve our goal, or like fulfill whatever we dream of.
Yeah. I think everyone has shared their views. Versatile people both from towards or against to entrepreneurship, and who are for entrepreneurship. So let us stop for a while, and you'll be having questions from the respective evaluators. Please don't log off. Please wait patiently, because you will be having your own set of questions. Okay. Now
Ma'am, is it
I'll
fine if I'm really sorry to interrupt. Is it fine if I just give one concluding statement, ma'am?
wait. Give a minute. I was about to say the same thing. Okay.
Okay,
So
sorry.
from this set of people, both who are against to entrepreneurship or entrepreneurs, and who are for entrepreneurship, if at all you want to conclude, kindly summarize and conclude. I am giving half a minute, so don't go beyond it.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, for all the debaters present here, I would just like to say this one thing. This rise of entrepreneurship has been it can easily be told as a Western idea from these people like Ty Lopez and other Matt Diavella that you find on YouTube. Just one suggestion for every single one listening to me. Don't get influenced by some white guy who is living in a country that provides you all with incentives. Your elders, your father and your mother, and your uncle, your teachers, listen to them. They are always right. They are always right no matter what, because they have seen society to the fullest. We are yet to see. It's always good to listen and follow the path of the ones that gave birth, that let you into this world. So, with this, I would like to conclude my statement. Thank you.
Please go ahead.
Thank you, Ritvik. That was poignant debate. You all people did a great job. Now I would like to call Team B, and the participants in Team B are Nirnimesh, Suraj Purohit, Anand Sanjeev, Shivatejesh, Akshaya, Gurusaranya, Gayatri, Lakshmi Prasanna, and Ajit. All the best, guys. You can start now.
So, dear
Hello,
participants,
good evening.
1 minute, Nirnimesh. You might have gone
Okay,
through the rules of the debate. Okay. Kindly don't do the mistake which first team has did. Okay. So give chance to everyone, and don't drag the issue, or don't consume lot of time for your own ideas. This is first and the foremost thing, because it's already 6:15. Okay. And the other thing is, like, kindly people who are there, who have registered themselves so as a participant, take initiative. Ask them to wait for a minute and speak about your opinion. Don't wait till other people stops. No one will stop by themselves unless until we interrupt them. Okay. Yeah, you can please go ahead.
Hello, good evening to all. Uh, as Ritvik said, there is only one among 1,000 who is going to intro. So, going to with this point, the one who goes with the entrepreneurship make others make job for other 99 people. So entrepreneurship is not about just taking all the profits and doing for their all needs. It's about growing the whole country, growing the whole nation, growing the whole world. Like the best Indian entrepreneur is Ratan Tata. He has given many donations for in this tough times. So we can't say this entrepreneur are just only meant to for profit and doing the business. There are entrepreneurs who help others, who helps the need, who fulfill the need of the nation, of the fulfill of the needs of their employees. So, and talking about this capital, so like I'm agree with that we need capitals for this entrepreneurship ideas, but we can also start with nothing and can gain many things. Like one of the example is Harshad Mehta. He was having nothing when he started in this business, but now at the end when he and his life, he has many things. He has got a good place in his life. So capital is also not needed if you have a good mindset. So the first thing to have in the life to be a good entrepreneur is a good and healthy mindset, and always be positive. So life is not all about giving up. It's all about growing up, irrespective of how many times we failed and how many times we lost or how many people we lost. Just we have to go with the flow with a positive and creative approach. That's my point.
As Nirmesh says, go with the positive mindset. It might be easy to say it rather than following it properly, because being an entrepreneur doesn't mean that you are earning for yourself, but also you are responsible for many of your employees' families. So if you even fail, there will be like 100 people without food tomorrow. So how can you? So it is very difficult to be an entrepreneur, and so we can rather choose a easy job and be perfect in it.
See, even though you're saying about an easy job, if there is no other entrepreneurs or something like that, if no one has started anything, then how can we get a job? That's my question. Actually, we have to be. You can say that we can depend on someone else. Whatever they say, we have to do that, and so on. We have to be in ourselves. We have to take risks, and we have to go on. And entrepreneurs are not like getting an idea in one day and next day he started building, gathering some people, giving them jobs. No, it's like planning. Planning is a main important thing, and he need a good plan to do things. He need to know how to do those things. It's all about that. Even though he's taking risk or something, I know a lot of entrepreneurs who haven't take much amount of money. I don't know lot of money. No one has taken. I've seen lot of people taking risk, and if he is confident enough that his idea is working, then he can go with that. And it's all about it is what making changes in the world right now.
And one thing, trying to job right now and make feeding people was a startup at a point of time. When a particular company is started, it doesn't start off to be a multi-million dollar or billion-dollar company. It starts.
Excuse me, Sivatejesh.
I think Shiva Tejas is having network issues.
It grows and
Someone. Shiva Tejas.
It like yes, ma'am.
Can you please stop if at all you are having network issues so that other can take chance? When you have good network, you can take your chance.
I didn't realize that, ma'am.
Yeah. Hopefully. Please, someone can speak or share their views. Once he gets good network, he'll carry on.
Sure, ma'am. I'm Guru Saranya. I'm here to talk about the negative side. So, as you all are saying, I agree that every company that has grown to be a multi-millionaire today has been a startups. It has been a startup grown through all the years. But the idea that they have has to be so good that it can be scalable and it should be sustainable. Like if you have an idea, you have an idea. You'll have to gather a team. You'll have to work for it, and you'll have to be a good leader and all. The amount of skill set that you need to become an entrepreneur is like so. It's vast, and I believe even if like we have spent almost like 20 years of our life, and whatever we have studied till now, or whatever we have done till now in our lives is not at all related to entrepreneurship, and now suddenly starting over again, be a 4-year-old child starting to learn something new, just really difficult. and you need to have an idea that is like what I mean sustainable is that previously they like the Zomato came up, and now the Zomato came up. Previously we used to go and eat at the restaurants and all. Now it's helping, but we can't guarantee that it will go on to do the same help like in future, like 10-20 years. We have a life of 75 to 80 years. I wish we have a life of 100 years to all of us, but still the idea we have needs to be so sustainable that we can have the income with it for about like at least 40 to 50 years. Then then our children can start earning, but till then the family's responsibility is with us. So all ideas, I guess like 1 in 1,000 ideas would be so scalable and sustainable that it will be there for so many years. If I became an entrepreneur and my idea got suddenly dropped off after 10 years of work, it's nothing, right? It doesn't make sense, because next what am I going to do, what am I going to feed to my children and all? Like, it's really risky. That's my point. Yeah, I open the stage
The point of being an entrepreneur is not to feed your family. It's to have an idea which will change the lives of lots of other people. The person who started Zomato could have sat in his house and eaten his own food instead of asking all of us to order food. That is not the point. It's having an idea and implementing it. Whatever smartphones, everything you're holding right now came out of an idea just like that. If that particular person said, okay, it's not necessary, I'll sit in my house and feed my family, work at a farm or something, because back in those days there were no other things you can do. This is being an entrepreneur is about having an idea and trying to learn more about what you're doing. It's just being interested in your work, not trying to get back something from it. It's actually getting pleasure from your work rather than any income. You won't find any random person who wants to become financially successful or randomly given he might be an entrepreneur, but you see most of those people starting a business or investing, people who want to earn money. Entrepreneurs are people who have that spark to, I mean, like, put effort into an idea which they just had to make sure it'll work. It's just interest in a subject, not in a source of income to feed your family. That's not in the minds of the people who start startup.
Yeah, I agree with you that that's not in the minds of the people who want to start a startup. But I was sharing the perspective of a middle class man, like, or woman. Nowadays, the content online is almost if there are two people talking and one would be talking about entrepreneurship, like it's getting feeded in our minds so much that every single person now wants to become an entrepreneur and millionaire. It's quite misunderstood, but my perspective would be that my final goal would be to feed my family, right? It may not be like, there are very few people who have that mindset of serving others and building an idea. That's my point.
Well, this is me, Ajit Kumar from second year.
I would
Basically, I would like to add some points to Sip to this. Yeah, he has said that entrepreneurs are not for feeding family, or they are for serving the society. Well, so who will feed your family? You have to take the responsibility of your family too. No, if you fail, in case if you fail, then who will be? You will become a bankrupt. You will be in a depression. You will be in a financial distress. Who will then take care of it? And well, as Nimesh told about Harsal Mehta, well, there is a very famous dialogue from that web series too. That risk hai to isk hai. Everyone is very familiar with it, and today's young generation are getting basically it sounds like cool, risk hai to isk hai, but there are many negative aspects. Now, for example, if I motivate some person that you go for entrepreneurship, this is many positive aspects, but we have to know that what are the negative aspects. If he go and if he fails, then what will be the, then from the, when he will fail, then how he will overcome it? Is there any solution if we get into financial distress, if we get into depression, how he will overcome it? That is the question.
Can I answer that?
completely appreciate your concern about your family and feeding all, but I have to make a clear of a point that failure is everywhere. Even though you get a 9 point GPA or something and you're going to work for some company, you're not sure that you will be getting into that company, and you will not sure that the company will stand by, and you will not sure that you will earn enough to feed your family. So failure is everywhere. I want to make clear
And
my point.
one more thing, and if you're going and getting a job from someone else, from an employer, it is not guaranteed that you have job security. He can remove you in the next day and take someone who's gonna get hired for lesser salary also. And see, being an entrepreneur is a choice. You can't take that choice away from people. And you're talking about failure. So okay, you study, you try getting a job. I can say that what if there is a chance that you won't get a job? Even that argument is valid, right? So
Can I contribute?
even if you're writing an exam, there's a chance you might fail. That doesn't mean you won't write the exam. Yes or no?
Thank you, Shivatejas.
Yeah.
And
Adding
I would like to
and
come to
adding
the
to
point
Sridhar's
Akshaya told. She was telling about the failure. As discussed in the previous debate as well, it's not about the risk. It's about the percentage of risk that we are uh, incepting from this. This, as in case of entrepreneur, the chances of failure are higher than a normal job, because this also deals with creativity. So you're the first one to develop an idea and present it to the society. There are high chances of ethical dilemma as well, wherein the project might fail. Since you are the first one, you will have to deal with more problems as in case of a regular job. And thank you, Shivitejas. You told me that you are passionate about job. I am very happy to hear that. But then India is a country where every out of like 4 people, 2 of them are poor. And thank God, like pandemic came and it widened even more. So everybody cannot afford to risk their career and wait for greater returns in future, risking their present days. They have a family to feed, and they definitely have to feed. That's our primary duty.
If a person doesn't work and he can't feed his family, and if see the society as a whole should be such that it's beneficial to the person living in the society. And if you're talking about the fact that whatever you're trying to do is not working, you're not asking every single person, people who can't afford to do it or spare the time to have a startup of their own, we're not asking them to become entrepreneurs. We're encouraging the people who already want to become entrepreneurs. And obviously, since you've spoken about the like class difference, like and wage difference between people, half the people in India are poor. Yes, okay, that's not that's not a drawback of entrepreneurship. That's the drawback of the society we are in.
Sorry to interrupt. That is according to the government that people are poor, because poverty line is defined and people below the poverty line are considered. But
So that is the fault of the government. It is supposed to make sure the people are living comfortably.
Are also poor, even they are struggling. So only like very minimal amount of people can actually afford to risk their initial stages of career to gain greater rewards in the future.
That is what I said. We are not asking everyone to become entrepreneurs. See, if you ask most of the people who come into NITs or IITs, they'll say, I want a job in Google, Amazon, Microsoft. What were those?
But what is the success? What is the success ratio of entrepreneurs? I think what is the success ratio of entrepreneurs?
Okay, what is the
Is it-
success? What is the success ratio of a person attempting IIT JEE
Uh,
examination? There are 10 lakh people attempting
but
IIT JEE
but yeah,
examination. There are only
yeah.
15,000 people getting
But
into
they have
IITs, and around
but they
2,000
have
people getting into the
yeah, I agree
degrees they
with you.
want in
But they have
CSE and
different
ECE.
option too. But they have different option too. But if in case of entrepreneurship fails, then how will he overcome? That you say me.
Okay, you for example, I wrote IIT JEE. I wanted to get into IIT. Now I'm in a NIT. Isn't that something else? Isn't that me going on with my life? That's the same thing which everyone else will do. Did you say, okay, no, I want only IIT, and did I write the exam again? Maybe I didn't want to risk it. That is depending on the individual's choice. People will write the exam 2-3 times, and people who fail in their first attempt for a startup, they'll try 2-3 times or they'll stop. That depends on the person.
Actually, entrepreneurship is not based on money only. See, there are a lot of types of entrepreneurship, right? Some companies are very like doing small things, and they are getting fund and they are getting money, and they're making it much developed situation. It's not like in a single day they are doing everything. See, people's view on entrepreneurship is different. People who have money, let them do much better funded or something like that. Let them take like that, risk like that. People who have no money, they have still option. See, that's what I have to say. If they are much confident and if they have much ideas, let them try. And addition with that, see, our country is still developing. I don't know in which year it will be developed country. See, our country as compared with some America or UK or something like that. See, it's because of they have money. See, their life is different because they have money. The government is getting money. If there is a company in our country, it will roughly give about 30% of its profit as tax. You know that, right? So what we are right now using other countries' product, their companies' product. Those countries are getting money when we are buying those things. If our country have an option that we are buying the products of which are introduced by our companies, our government is getting the money. So that's what I have to say. So tax will change and everything. Our lifestyle will be changed. So change.
Okay, as Lakshmi Prasanna has told that talking about percentage of risk being an entrepreneur. So if you want to do something big, you should risk more. So if I right now, if I ask to tell 10 names of great entrepreneurs, I think you would tell easily. But when I ask you to tell some like workers or employees, you wouldn't be able to do that, because that is where the sophistication of the entrepreneurship lies. So I want to tell that percentage of risk is always balanced by the fame or money or whatever you earn. So the more risk you put in, the more you earn, whatever.
Yeah, I would like to
And Ajit Kumar's point, that what are alternatives, or if you fail to be an entrepreneur, what you want to do? There are many things to do. If you fail to plan something, you will be the worker of some company, you will be the employee of some company. It is this other alternative. You have so many alternatives being an entrepreneur also.
While we are thinking of job as an alternative, like, why don't we like take it from the starting as like that only? Like, not everyone has the perspective of doing big, getting fame and money. Fame and money can go like this. It's so uncertain, the path that we are going in talking about entrepreneurship, that it can just go like that. We can't like predict our future. It's better we take a job. We learn a lot of money and putting them into stocks and all of that, and helping other entrepreneurs to grow would be better.
As our
People who
teammate
don't want to
already
take risk.
mentioned, everyone are not ready to be an entrepreneur. We only encourage, or we are only talking about the people who really wanted and who really passionate about being an entrepreneur. So not everyone are into this. If they really want to do some other work, they can. It's about people's interest.
It's not only about passion and money. They should go hand in hand. You should be passionate and have money, and the idea should be novel. The government should support. You should also have the circumstances supporting you. Unless your idea is very novel, the chances of you making into the market successfully are less. And if your idea isn't novel and you are still going for to be an entrepreneur, then you'll have to deal with the world. Like, the world, entire world is a market now. You not only have to face the companies in India, you'll have to face the entire world. So imagine the competition you'll have to face. And you still think we are ready for the competition outside the world?
Sorry to interrupt. Half minute, kindly conclude. I hope everyone participated from this team. Everyone grabbed the opportunity or got a chance to speak, right? To share their views. Yes, everyone got it. Is there any
Suraj
person
Purohit
who missed a chance?
didn't speak.
Suraj Purohit.
Yes,
Suraj
I want
Purohit.
to add. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, please.
I
Please
want
go
to
ahead.
add my point that us all are saying that there is so much risk and there is a high percentage of risk in the entrepreneurship, in doing entrepreneurship. But there is a one point that we can see that if we have a proper knowledge and planning, and if we can, if we have some talent or ability to do, or we have a unique idea according to us, or if we believe on us, then we can reduce the percentage of risk, which can help us in further. So it is not like that there is a high percent of risk. It is depends upon us that how can we reduce that risk and grab the opportunity which is there in the market. Because grabbing opportunity is there always in the market, just like there is Amazon, and then in that time when Amazon is not established, that time there is a opportunity that internet is coming in the picture, and the person who established the Amazon, he realized that there is a in the coming few decades, there is a huge demanding of things which are going through internet on online. So he grab their opportunity. Even he faced the many problems and high means economical issues, but he faced, and he according as he his and according to his ability and knowledge about his that field, he will success also.
Someone please conclude.
Uh, Lastly, adding to Ajit's point, like he's talking about risks. So in the life, we are humans. We need risk to stay alive. Like we can't sit at a place and just do our or the desired things and just sitting without doing anything. So it's life. We need risk. We need risk to survive. We need risk to lead a good life. So entrepreneur is uh, just about knowing our capabilities, what we can do, and how we can lead a good life. So we can face many failures in life, but we need just to stay in it until we win it. Uh, Talking about that, and what Akshay Didi said, or Lakshmi Didi said, that every four out of people, two are poor. And I would add the point that in that two people, there are 50% are poor because of their because of they don't want to do anything. They have assets, but they don't have a proper mindset. Like in a country like India, we go for government jobs more because we got good leisure time. We don't need money. We need leisure time. But if you go for hard work with a good mindset, then uh, then the two people will also become above the poverty line. That's my point.
Nobody wants to be poor. Like nobody wants to live in poverty. They are not poor because they want to be poor. They are poor because they have no other choice. They lack assets. They don't have proper opportunities, due to which they suffer. Also talking about the risks, to lead a good life, you must ensure to eliminate the possible amount of risks.
I have to say
So
that if people are not going to take any risk, then we would have been in some kind of no good things. Like our farmers are taking a lot of risk, you know. They are putting a lot of amount of money. They're taking loan and they are cultivating. Sometimes they get enough amount of money, but sometimes they are not getting. See, life is full of risk. We have to take risk, then we will achieve. Every entrepreneur have taken risk, and even though they failed many times, but each time they are learning something and they are avoiding those risks. That make them a true entrepreneur, and that make them getting enough fund and all the tax for the government. It make them country better. It make them give people lot of jobs and opportunities. So we cannot avoid entrepreneurship in a single word or in a single risk sentence or something like that.
I want to add a point to Sajeev that as you said, risk, you have to consider risk also. If someone like who created many things have thought the same, we, you, and everyone wouldn't be sitting here in front of the laptops and making a far communication and sitting under fan, light, or whatever. So someone has to think, someone has to get an idea, and someone has to put their life in a risk in order to be an entrepreneur and to make everyone's social life and to be perfect.
So to conclude, I would like to say that entrepreneurship, as it sounds so cool and nice to be in the present situation that we have, all the social media has created, the middle class perspective is the generalized perspective that we would like to consider here. So when we look at that perspective, we see the main aim of the middle class people would be to take care of their family nicely and not take that much of risk, and they can't afford to fail. While saying the word failure, we're talking about the failure of entrepreneurship and the failure of someone who's doing a job in the same way, which we shouldn't, because entrepreneur who fails, it's not the single person who is failing, right? He has so many people at the back who also fail with him, and he to get converted from that high class lifestyle that he used to live to go and take a job and do something would be difficult. While a person who is failing in a job, he can just go and search for another. He will surely get a job. There's a lot of opportunity today. So that's my point. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Team B. Okay.
Thank you, dear
Now,
participants.
yes.
That was an impactful debate. Now let me invite our evaluators to evaluate the debate. I invite Dr. Fanikrishna sir, Assistant Professor, Department of EEE, NIT Andhra Pradesh, and Dr. Premalata ma'am, Ad hoc Faculty, SHM, NIT Andhra Pradesh, Faculty Advisor, to evaluate the debate by our friends. Thank you.
Funny, sir.
Premlata ma'am, I request you to
Sir,
first
please go
interact.
ahead. Yeah.
As you are more aware of the students, please go ahead and because the template is more known to you. So then I will, if anything to add, I will just add on to it.
Sir, I thought like you will be asking, sir, because you are directly into it. You had experience, no?
Okay.
So first you start, later on. No problem.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. So for the team who is opposing it, because you all are from the EIC cell, so I thought there will be more strong point from getting more entrepreneurs and supporting more entrepreneurs. But ironically, I see more strong points coming from the opposing team, particularly in the first batch. Like Ritvik, Arshita, these people have given very good points of why one should not start an entrepreneurship or to be an entrepreneur. But a common point is, see, in the last 2-3 years, so if you look at the government policies, so they are trying more towards encourage that actually building an ecosystem for the budding entrepreneurs. Right, so that is a policy which is taken by the government. That's the future direction where they look into. So what is your opinion on that? People who are opposing, so I want to know their opinion on the policies that are being made by the government.
So on that, I would like to add that the government is making a lot of policy, and that is a good thing. but like it is raising funds or it is giving loan to the new entrepreneur, new startups. So if the startup is a successful one, then it is okay. But if it is not, which is the majority of the case, then they have to pay back the debt, right? Even if it is a government thing. So in that case, that person will go on debt, and like it will be a very depressing situation for that person, and that person won't be able to come back again and start their own startup again. Like as a middle class family, they won't try to take that risk once again. That's what my point is.
Sir, to add to
Yeah,
that,
carry
sir, well, actually, the idea of increasing entrepreneurship, which the recently Modi government brought up by Make in India, right? It is actually it's a very positive note side, sir, because of that itself, many Indian companies also started thriving up. But you also need to take into account the population of India and the present demographics of India as well, sir. Because if you're taking every year, right, I think there are a minimum of at least 1 lakh people who graduate from computer science itself, like leave any other thing. Because NIT itself, we have 31 NITs and we have around 100 students in each NIT. And for that IITs, there are around 15. If you're taking local colleges and all, then maybe around 1 lakh students who come out. So, uh, entrepreneurship, whatever they're doing is good only, sir, but there are also two types. So one is one is investments. When you're investing something, there are chances that you may ask for the money in return, and there are chances that you may not. Like there are also things called blind investing, and then there is incubators, sir. Like that is the differentiation between incubator and an investment, sir. Like if you're going for an incubator, that is not much of a problem for the host, because if the business fails, then you won't have any problem in return, because the only problem that you'll be there is the business failed and you need to try once more. But if you're going, but the majority of the policies which were created also were focusing more on, investments. Investments always people ask for something in return, so they at least expect the same money of it to be returned, sir. And that is where, sir, I think there is a slight problem, because if I establish a company, if I take like around 5 lakh rupees as loan from any person, and if I establish a company, and if I don't make the spreadsheet marks, which was supposed to happen, like during COVID, right, unexpected thing that happened, if I don't make it up, sometimes investors, they pull over the entire company, or they just stop giving you money, and they'll ask you for returning the money that you already invested also. So there might be problem, because we are also depending on the mindset of investor as well, right? So except for that, sir, everything else is pretty fine, sir. Like that is the major problem. Finding investors, finding an idea itself is a problem nowadays, sir. Like whatever you're thinking right now, everyone in your college already thinks about it. So it's really quite difficult, sir. That's it.
Okay. So the major concern is the investment,
Yes,
like
sir. Like
loan
I
or
I
investment.
like to
Yeah.
add something for what Ritik said, sir. Actually, the major idea for encouraging entrepreneurs to keep their companies in India is to develop India to an extent which can support ourselves in a global market and can send out, export, and import goods as well. So the government is trying to decrease the NRIs who are going out and working out in international companies outside of the country, rather than being in the country, using the country's resources and making our India self-reliant, is the whole theme of encouraging entrepreneurship. But what I think is being an entrepreneur in India is quite difficult, to be honest, sir. Whatever the policies the government gives, or whatever the loan facilities which are provided by the government, those are not up to the mark or up to the optimum level that we can just assure ourselves and get into the idea and establish a company. That's what I think, sir.
The second thing, so even whenever you want to bring up a disruptive technology, because one of you have taken the right example of COVID, but if you observe, so it's always the survival of the fittest, right? It is in every game. So it's the same with the entrepreneurship also. So during COVID time, there are startups which failed and there are startups which thrived. For example, it might be Xelp, XELP, or it might be Mindtree, Happiest Mind, sorry, Happiest Mind. So these companies have boosted, like startups like these have boosted, and at the same time, it is accepted that some of these startups have failed. Now, one has to agree that entrepreneurship is a high risk, high reward game. One enters knowingly, right? So you have restated this points that it, like your establishment of point is it's a high risk, high reward game. Do you agree or is it not so?
Yes, sir, it is definitely.
Right. So once as entrepreneur, as jobs come in all sizes, like 1 lakh people might apply for Microsoft. They might fail there. Then later on they will apply for the second tier ID, and so on and so forth. So in similar way as getting into a Microsoft job is a high risk, high reward, and you cannot say that not being an entrepreneur, you have to feed your family. That's the same thing which I'm taking up. So you have to take up one of the high profile paying jobs, then you have to look at for other options also. Then why can't entrepreneurship be a high risk, high reward, like applying for a job for Microsoft?
Sir, to address your point itself, sir, here itself, the question itself, there is also the answer, sir. If you're looking at entrepreneurship, right, if you're applying for a job, just think of yourself as applying for a job. Like you mentioned, if I'm applying for Microsoft right now, I have nothing to lose. I'll just apply right now. There's an application that I'm sending. If they like me, they'll accept me. If they don't, they'll not accept me. In the same way, I'll be applying for 10, 20 jobs online only. So that's not much of a problem. But if I'm going for entrepreneurship itself, there is a responsibility on me which is embedded, which is really, really high. Sir. Like you mentioned, high risk, high reward, right? It is not as comparable if you're taking the scenario of a job, sir. In job, there is no risk here, sir. There is just rewards which you might get. Here, there is a high amount of risk, which is your investors. The very basic things that your investors, if you don't have investors, investors will also ask you to put some equity from your side as well. Sir. So if some people, they might even put their houses as an for surety that they have something to pay for, right? For taking loans and stuff. So here you have the responsibility of your investors, you have the responsibility of the people that are working with you. Because you as an entrepreneur, sir, you need many things. Like just innovation, just an idea won't give you answer, right? Like if the same idea that you got, someone else got somewhere else in the world, and he has he's better sound person in terms of all these strategies which you need, he'll succeed and you won't, sir, because ideas, they come up all the time, sir. And here, this is the main difference. Like if you're taking job, it is much safer, sir. Like what the most idealistic situation would be to take a job, continue in it for a while, after you earn enough, after you yourself and your family members, not just yourself, your family members as well, the people around you are saying, okay, now it is okay for you to start anything that you like. Because
so you're putting a time limit on when to be an entrepreneur, like after age 35 or 40.
No, sir, not exactly like that, sir. What I mean to say is that if you need to ask for people around you, sir. Like if I'm asking you right now, because I don't know much about it, I don't have any experiences. So for me, I'll obviously ask Premlata, ma'am, is my idea good? Is my idea, if I open my idea right now, is my investment less and the returns more? Like that you need to see, sir. If your investment should be less and your return should be more, sir. It should not be like, as soon as they come out, I'll be opening, if as soon as they come out, I'll be opening hotels everywhere. That requires a lot of investment, and the returns come slowly, right? Once people come in. Something like online or something, those things, they have a different level of returns. So investment and returns, so that profitability percentage is what I need, sir. So experience.
Yeah, I would like to add to Ritvik's point that when I'm doing a job, if it may be any company, but I know what to do if I fail. Right? If I'm an entrepreneur and I fail, there is no one to tell me that you can do this to again come up and you can be successful again. But if I'm doing a job, I have thousands of people who have failed in the same condition, and they can tell me what to do next.
The same goes with entrepreneurs also. Like you have a bigger community in comparison to the job, like failed job community. You have a bigger community, failed entrepreneur community. Everyone is ready with a suggestion.
Yeah, sir. But
Yes.
while in entrepreneurship, each thing is different, right? The jobs, it's the same, but the problem that comes up in one kind of startup that you're doing, it may not be in another one. It may be completely a new stream one, and a problem that is new. It's new for all.
Also, sir,
Sir,
in a
and I have
job,
to.
may I continue?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, in a job, we can get another job with the same knowledge. But in an entrepreneur, like in a business, if my business idea fails, it means I have to go from scratch and get a very new idea to make it work this time, because I know that idea failed, so it won't work again. That will be a waste of time if I invest more money on that.
Okay. Have you people heard about pivoting? Rewrapping a failed solution to a successful solution. A failed industry grade gum can be your stick pad. Your failed strong material can
Sir?
be a plastic. Yeah.
Sir, on continuation of that, I don't know who the person you have mentioned, but I do know some other entrepreneurs who have done so after failing, like Henry Ford or someone else. But what I am trying to convey is that, sir, is we need to have a solid backup after, if we lose, because there are many chances of losing in that game.
Okay.
As you said,
then
there is.
coming to Ritvik's point. So you're also coming to Ritvik's point that when you're self-sufficient and you have sufficient sources to be a failed guy or to dust yourself even after a failure, you can be an entrepreneur.
Not like that, sir. I'm just saying we have to have a sufficient backup for just letting our own life live happily, or just for our family's sake at least. And then we can go on for entrepreneurship or setting up a company or some other things, sir. But we cannot just let the people around us or let the family be on road for our
Okay.
idea. No, sir.
Got it.
That's my
So
point.
first you have to do a job. You have to earn enough money, right? First you have to do the job, then do the earn sufficient money, be self-sustained. Then what to do? Then you want to be an entrepreneur or you don't want to be an entrepreneur?
It depends upon the person's choice, sir. If he has a good idea and if he has enough knowledge and
so then he can be an entrepreneur.
Sir,
yes, sir.
Not exactly.
Sir,
like
by
that.
the time he gets the job and he gets sufficient money, his idea will be outdated, sir.
Exactly.
It's all
like,
about the
not
new
exactly like
idea.
that,
He
sir.
how to use that in that time.
There is
If-
just that. Yeah, sorry.
Sir,
Okay.
sir, if a person trying to make another Amazon in India itself, he cannot do that because already Amazon is there here.
But
If
they
there's-
got with Flipkart. They
Yeah,
cannot Flipkart.
exactly. But the problem is that Flipkart, even though now Flipkart is under Walmart, sir, it's they got better
Walmart
because
acquired it because it's a successful model.
some fight or something like that. It's all because of the fight from the Amazon. They do that.
If
But
we take
it's
example
good
of
for them.
Snapdeal also, no sir. Like Snapdeal, like beginning it was competing with Flipkart, no sir, but then later it failed. What I mean to say is, sir, like if your idea is good enough, you just need. What I'm asking is, ask concern from people around you, sir. Mostly what these entrepreneurs have, like what I've seen outside as well, like whatever you see these, YouTube videos and the other clips of them speaking, right? They always be like, society is something we should not listen to. They always go in a way like going against this, innovate something and then squeeze into the society. Sir, that is a very bad idea, sir. Like if you, the
Okay.
very simple example can be taken from Steve Jobs only, sir. Steve Jobs, this is the main reason why Apple is so different from other companies. Steve Jobs said, I think this was during the first iPhone launch. He said that we need to create a product depending on what society needs at that point, sir. So if you're, what I'm saying is, like if you really are that enthusiastic about entrepreneurship itself, if you really think that is the thing that you have to do, like there is no other thing that you can do. What you need, there are there are huge number of steps to follow, sir, and you also need to excel in many things for you to become an entrepreneur, sir. The first and the foremost thing that I would definitely, suggest for anyone is go get a great mentor. Like Premlata ma'am is there, my seniors are there, mentor is like my Premlata ma'am is there, and the seniors and everyone else. Then you need to have your own level of intuition, sir. You need to be able to think the consequences that might happen in the future. And then you need to have at least some sort of an industrial experience to go enter into the industry. Because if you're starting a complete new industry, that is very
See,
rare.
Ritvik, the debate topic is not about whether you have to start a startup after BTech or not. The topic is about entrepreneurship, right? It might come at any point of time.
Yes.
So that is the thing which I want to
and definitely
stress
not
on.
suggested, sir. In that case, it's definitely not suggested. Like you previously told, right? Like 30 to 40 years. Like what I mean to say is, like, I don't mean exactly for 30 or 40 years. It is always better to understand yourself from people around you because they know better about you than yourself.
Okay, when you mean people around you is like your family members.
Exactly, sir. Your family members, your teachers, your professors, your close friends. Because sir, what we behave like right now, I'm speaking like this. I don't know what I'm speaking like for some of the for around 10 to 20%. I don't know what I'm speaking, sir. But you as a person, you are hearing what I'm speaking, and you picked up the mistake that I just told right now. I was deviating from the topic you told. So in the same way, sir, you'll find people around you that know you better than you know yourself, sir.
Okay. So Ritvik, then one question. So have you taken every choice in your life suggested by your family, or have you debated at any point of time?
I've taken almost every single thing, sir.
So you miss it sometimes.
Yes, sir, I miss, sir. I'll be honest. Like, see, I'm actually happy to be here because my initial idea, believe it or not, my initial idea was to take arts because it's simple. You don't need to study much and simply enjoy college life. But my dad was like, no, you won't have a proper stable network. Go try for engineering. And this was in the last 6 months of 12th grade, sir. So it was really different for me.
So are you enjoying this college life? Are you enjoying that?
I'm really enjoying. I'm really happy where I am right now. Like there is no college life right now. It's all in a digitalized screen. But I'll definitely enjoy because whatever I'm doing right now, I'm enjoying it. Every single bit of it.
So some of the suggestions, okay, that's a very good argument. So before moving to the other team, I want to give some suggestions to people. So one thing, debate is about adding value. It's not about proving you right. Okay, in the process of proving you right, it's not for you only, for everybody. It's you take up one arbitrary example which might be statistically important or statistically insignificant, and you try to counter one point with another point. So what happens is it will be like a chain reaction. You take up one point, the opposite take one point. I don't know, for some reason the opposite team didn't take a lot of points. So you take one point, contradicting point, another example will be taken by other team. Again, another contradicting point will be taken by this team. So, but towards the end of the day, it will not be like a sword fight. You throw a knife and they throw a knife, right? So towards the end, it should be like a value addition. So what value addition did you think you brought to the debate? Like, you should not take entrepreneurship. That's a statement, right? So what value did you add to the discussion or the debate?
Yes, sir. So I'll give you my side, sir. What I feel like I gave. I don't know if this is valuable to anyone present here, but for me, this was a very valuable lesson. And that is being realistic and practical, sir. Because many people right now, like even when I was in my 10th grade, I used to think, when 12th comes, I'll top the country, let's go somewhere else, let's enjoy life. Life is not that easy, sir. And being practical is one thing that I really want everyone here to please understand. Like, you follow it or not, that is your risk. That is the only thing I feel, sir.
Okay, nice, good. So the following evaluation will be for the team which is supporting the topic. Okay. So I think it's Sumanji, these people, right? Now, when can someone decide to be an entrepreneur? How can someone decide, like, I can be a successful entrepreneur? Because it's a high risk, high reward game. Hello, it's for the team which is supporting the topic of to be an entrepreneur.
Sir, it was for the team one, right? Question is for the team one.
No, all the people who were supporting for entrepreneurs.
Okay, regarding that, I can say
Positive
like
people who
yeah.
spoke about the constructive ideas about entrepreneurs and how entrepreneurship has evolved over a period of time and all.
Okay, regarding that, I can say that entrepreneurship is not a easy task. We have to be careful about all the things. We have to be practical about all the things. We have to know that whether this is going to be work or not. We should not have much competition in the field. We should be new. Then it will be easy to get a success in that one. That's how should we choose the.
Okay, let me put it this way. So if you want to go for a job, you know that, okay, you have to be good at C programming or something like that, right? If you're applying for a job, you know that, okay, this is the profile that is needed. So if I'm good at C coding, if I know the data structures, algorithms, and this stuff, I have a better chance at this particular job. In similar way, what is the checklist to state that, okay, because it is a high risk, high reward game. So before entering, I have to know whether I will be a successful person or not. So what could be the checklist? When can you say that, okay, this person can be an entrepreneur, he cannot be an entrepreneur? Just having a zeal to solve something will not be sufficient, right? Many people, all the people want to be rank one, but there will be only one rank one.
Yes, sir. Regarding that, I can say like, I cannot say like I can be first or something like that. But sorry, I lost it.
So the first thing is that if I myself is hassling through that problem, so I will look upon other people that if the market needs if the market needs the solution of that particular problem or not, then only I can decide if that idea will work or not.
Okay. Sorry for that. Now, you are going to ask everybody, it's not only for you, for everybody. So it's going to be a market study. So based upon the market study, you're going to define whether this is going to be a successful problem or impactful problem or not, right? Is the answer.
Yes, sir.
Okay, beforehand, you're
Like
going to
we can,
yeah,
like we
carry
can
on.
go among the group of people to know whether they too are facing that problem or not, or if my solution will be added the value something to that problem to solve that, then I can go to the other things.
Okay, so everyone has, like, you pick up any arbitrary person, they'll be having a number of problems, right? So how can you ensure that your solution is going to solve that problem? You have to make a product, or are you going to explain the design of your solution?
Yes, sir, I myself will find the solution of that problem, then I will go to the groups of people or by Google form, or I will go with my product that product can be useful to those peoples or not, then I can decide.
Let
Like
me
there might be
reiterate.
hundreds or 200s of people.
Let me reiterate the question. So when are you going to do the market survey? At the ideation stage or at the product stage, design stage, or
So
prototype stage?
first to ideation stage, that problem which I am facing, that other people too are facing that problem or not. First I will find that, then I will go to the solution, if I could find that.
So usually when you're about to ask this question, like, do you have this problem or not? It's for the people in your network, right?
Yes, sir.
But your network doesn't represent the complete population of India who is having that problem. You can reach out to your friends, your family members. So there is an demographic or cultural bias for your problem.
But the social platforms can help us in this thing. Like many Facebook pages and Insta pages, we can go among people with through that. Then we can interact with lot of people.
So, but that doesn't come for free, right? Your
No,
advertisement of
sir.
your
Sir, nothing is simply free. We have to study about the main content of the thing. We have to talk to the people who is expert in that, like people who have experience in all these things. So then only we can get a clear solution. What's going on these companies and things. We have to be knowledgeable about that. If a person wants to start a TV channel, he have to be know about how this telecasting, video editing and things, how the funding is going on and everything. Almost lot of things he have to know, or he have to be accompanied with a friend who knows everything. Then only risk will be less, and he can do better. If a person know nothing about these things and he just going to start a TV channel, he will be failed for sure. That's what I have to say.
okay. I'm still sticking to the point, like how can you avoid the demographic bias? Hello? How are you going to avoid the demographic? Like you are going to ask your friends and relatives and these people, but they have a similar opinion as you because you move, like you make friendship with people who has a similar thought process as you. But when you're trying to survey those people, they have, like, if you're liking a sitcom like Friends, most of your friends also might be liking a sitcom of Friends. You have something
Yes, sir,
in
you are
common,
true.
right? So how can I avoid that kind of an, because my and my friends are liking something doesn't mean that everybody is going to like it.
Sir, we
Or
can go among those peoples too, even we don't know them through Facebook and Insta pages. It's
okay,
not only about only we know them, then they are having the same type of mindset. So we can interact with many others people too. We have social platform, we can use that in that way too.
okay. So when you are having some survey popped up on your YouTube video, how many times have you taken that survey? Like someone has to take the survey, right? Whether they, if you,
Very less, sir. Very less, sir.
so how are you going to take the survey from the people who you don't know or you are not aware of?
Sir, actually there is an RR app which like we get payment because of the surveys. They will ask a lot of questions about, most of the things are like companies and business and all those things. And I use those apps for the surveys, and we have the option to apply for the survey also. We can ask our questions and we can get answers for that, but cost will be high. Yeah, that's right.
Right, before making the product only, you are incurring some cost. Great. Okay, that's one way.
Yeah, exactly, sir.
Second,
Sir, but the main, even though we are making the product, we cannot make the product for the whole India actually. I have to stick with my village or like my city or something
your
like that.
customer
I can,
segment. Actually, you
yes,
have to
yes,
stick to your customer segment.
yes.
Fine.
I have to start it as a small scale business. I cannot start it as a large scale business with nothing. I have to start it as small scale business and I'll get enough profit. If I know how it's going on, I can make it much better. Actually, I will get a lot of fundraisers also for that.
But margin on small scale is very low.
Yes, sir. But most of I think a lot of companies are beginning from the small scale only. Even if their innovation is much better, normally they used to get much better day by day.
No, but then they're taking some loans or some sort of investments. It's not from the profit which they churned from their initial phases.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because at the first, when they are getting enough profit or something, they used to apply for the loan or something. They take money, and all the stock markets are based on that only. Some stock market is growing up because of all these things. People invest in that.
Then say if you cannot scale up to your valuation, like some investor came, you valued your company at very high level for getting more money, then what happens?
Sir, I have to be innocent to him. I cannot say some stupid things. I cannot make him sad. Actually, I know that if I know how much my company will grow. I cannot say that my company will grow as an exponential thing. If he doesn't see enough result, he will surely withdraw from this one. So I have to make sure that my investors are much careful about what's going on in my company. I have to make them aware of that, sir.
How are you going to value a company? Valuation, company valuation, because from pre-series A round, B round, C round, D round, so the valuation keeps growing.
Yes, sir. But
how are you going to
actually,
value a company?
to be honest, I know nothing about that one, sir. I know nothing about that one. I just supporting the headline. That's right. But I don't know how these things are going on. I wish I could get a support from someone who is already an entrepreneur or someone who is much knowledge about these things or professor or whatever. I can
Okay.
get from him. That
Let me step back a bit and just say that, okay, if the problem is addressed or the problem exists with a lot of people, then you can be an entrepreneur, right? Is the statement. Or is the solution liked by many, you can be an entrepreneur.
Yes, sir. If his idea is valid and if it's going to change something, then he can be. And if he have enough fund, I mean, if the fund is enough and whatever, all the
So there are
if he's
many
good in
ifs,
leadership, he can
right?
do that.
So when you're having many ifs, so whenever you write a code with lot of ifs, so the point of target or area of target keeps sleeker and sleeker and sleeker. So are these conditions going to state that whether he can be an entrepreneur or not, good entrepreneur or not? Because your idea of, okay, problem, it's okay, but you have to design a solution which incurs some amount. You have to scale up by taking a loan. Even that incurs some money. So my point was, how can someone have a checklist beforehand? Like this is like after getting in, he can know whether he can be a successful entrepreneur or a failed entrepreneur. But going back to my initial question, if I want to apply for a job, I know, okay, if I fill up this checklist, there is a high possibility that I am going to get this job. But without entering into the process of building something, how can someone know that they can be a good entrepreneur or not, or they can be a successful entrepreneur or not? There is no good or bad entrepreneur; it's only successful or failed entrepreneur.
So before getting into engineering, even I didn't know that I am gonna be a successful engineer or not. It doesn't mean that I will not give a chance to me. A student take loan and do engineering with private colleges taking loan of 12 to 14 lakhs. Then in the initial phase, we can do a small investment by ourselves too.
Before getting you into engineer, okay, let me put it there. So your checklist is your passing of IIT JEE, right? There is someone who is sitting there and assessing that, okay, you're fit for the engineering. And so who is sitting there and judging that, okay, he can be a good entrepreneur? you have IIT JEE, right? So someone has evaluated, okay, you have the skills that are needed to be a good engineer or a engineer who can have a degree. Who is there to say that he can be an entrepreneur or not? Is there any test like that?
So we must need to get enough knowledge about that field. Like first we need to think about our idea only, that if it will work out or not, then we can only get to the other things. Like there are many things: fund management, marketing, strategy. In nowhere we can say that we are gonna be successful in this field or not.
Okay, there is no way to say. Okay, that's it from my end, ma'am. If anything to add, ma'am, Premlata ma'am.
Who have asked enough questions to come out or churn their ideas in a very positive way to speak about entrepreneurship, who have taken their own stance, in fact. I feel like those questions are very justifiable to speak about their opinions. I don't have many questions. In fact, it was a bit eye-opener for participants and the audience, both from a questions perspective and from the sharing of their participant views. We had a very good session, and in fact, those were some instances were very lovely information was being shared, but it could not went into in depth, right? Some of the questions, like when they were speaking about towards supporting entrepreneurship or speaking about Atmanirbhar Bharat or Make in India program, or we were looking forward for some of the technical things which speaks about entrepreneurs. We could not touch. I mean, the participants could not touch it. That was the only thing. From my side, I don't have anything. If at all you want to add, you can add, sir. You can give some ideas for them so that they can work on or they can learn something new.
From the debate point of view, like it's more skewed, ma'am. Like one batch is very good, literally, with their communication skills. But as you said, rightly pointed out, they didn't go to the, like, driving a point is different from hitting a point. So they are actually driving the point properly, but you have to hit the final nail in the coffin to win and to add something up. So that is right missing, as you rightly said. But you have groomed the people very well. From the debate point of view, I have no comment, ma'am, because there is a lot of communication. Like one of the team is very good to so that other team can learn from. From the entrepreneurship, and we'll have a different section like how to be an like the questions what I asked. So I will take a PPT or a presentation or some sort of a lecture which addresses all those questions. When can someone be an entrepreneur or not? So the checklist
Yes,
and stuff.
sure, sir. I hope the participants and the audience, they made a very good impact for today's event. And in fact, I should be very thankful to Dr. Fani Krishna, sir. Sir, thank you for your precious time, sir. We hope we made you to wait for such a long time, especially with discussions. Though the discussions were not completely in technical part, I mean, we, as you said, like we didn't hit the nail properly, but surely we'll look into that particular part. We'll train the students, but the problem is like people will not turn up. Basically, they are so busy with their own curriculum or their things. So that is the only missing part. And I hope these are all from second years. Hello, sir. Shankar, sir?
Yeah, please continue.
Yeah, I hope
Yes,
these are
yes, please
second years,
continue.
sir. These are the participants are completely second years. Just now they have completed the first year. They don't know the complete technical parts with respect to entrepreneurs, but whatever they show, whatever show they have put up, to that extent it is okay. But still, we should fine tune them. We are always, I think, participants are also very curious about your session, Fani sir. Obviously I am also a bit curious about your session. Hope people will get benefit from your session. Thank you very much, sir. And I should also thank Shankar, sir. Though sir was busy with so many works, sir also patiently waited for us. And sir, Shankar, sir, thank you very much for being there with us for the whole event time.
Few points here.
Sir? You are not audible, sir.
Yes, actually, I'm listening. Yeah, I'm listening your the debate. So it was very nice, and
Yes.
even though they are second years, no, they had I feel they had good knowledge in the startups, especially the entrepreneurships, and the difficulties, how they speed up. It was a very good. They have bring good points. Just to add, tomorrow we have a session. One is by it's a panel discussion. I request the participants to mobilize other people because Professor K. Madhumurthy, he's from mechanical engineering, NIT, but he was into this kind of programs. He's a entrepreneurial and related programs. And other member is Dr. B. Dasikir Reddy. Actually, just started. He's basically faculty member in NIT Surathkal, but he has a startup. And of course, you have seen based on the question by Funny itself, you could understand his knowledge or the part in the innovation and especially his entrepreneurship. And another faculty is Dr. K. Himabindu from CSC department. So I request at least one person. I need some volunteer to ask questions, to consolidate the questions raised in the platform and put before the panel. So somebody from this panel. Otherwise, I request Premalata madam to identify a suitable candidate to consolidate the question and then put before the panel.
Sir, in fact, today's Punisher questions might be like anchors for their tomorrow's session panel discussion questions, sir. Because, sir, in fact, sir has thrown a lot of light for them to consider about the entrepreneurs from so many major perspectives. So people will be there to ask the questions or to clarify the doubts for tomorrow's panel discussion. And dear students, kindly don't miss tomorrow's session because Funny sir will be there with us for tomorrow's panel discussion. And in fact, as Shankar sir said, we are going to have Professor Dr. Madhumurthy sir, NIT Warangal faculty, working with NIT faculty, and sir has enormous experience in training entrepreneurs or molding these students or even for faculties, like how to end up their project into a model, into a product or a model like that. So better we will. In fact, I'm so curious and inquisitive for the session. I hope it will be the same from your end too. Shankar sir, I'll assure we'll always be there. We'll present for the session. We'll ask good questions for tomorrow too. From the participant perspective, I'm saying.
So, yeah. So we end the meet now?
Yes, sir. We are at the end of the program, closing session. Sadia, are you available?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, please give the vote of thanks or thank everyone formally.
I thank honorable faculty and staff members and all our friends for attending this event and making this a fantastic and impactful session. I personally gained so much knowledge from this. I hope each and everyone here got some knowledge. Our Institute Innovation Council always looks forward to organize impactful events to help in the growth of all stakeholders involved with all your active participation. Thank you once again for your participative contribution. Let's say adieu for today's session. Okay.
Thank you all. Thank you all, dear participants. So, Shankar sir and Funny sir, thank you very much, sir. I'm winding up the session, sir.
Good day,
Hello.
ma'am. Good day to you all.
Yeah, thank you very much, sir.